and welcome to Mostly Minnesota Music Podcast Edition. I'm Ann Tracy. I'm here with my co-host,
Heather Baker.
Yes, and we are excited to have Jillian Ray with us. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Whoa, that was too exciting. Hi.
That was very understated. That was good. I was looking back, knowing that we were going to talk to you tonight. The last time we spoke with you officially on camera was November 2019.
Oof.
That was a world and a half ago.
Yeah, that was a different life.
It was a different life. I Can't Be the One You Want Me to Be was out fairly close to then, and we were talking about tribute nights at different places, and it's a different world. So I'm jumping off that, and folks, I think most folks know Jillian Ray, amazing singer, instrumentalist. I could never say that, but you've been doing some interesting things in the last 2 years, 3 years.
Well, I've been trying. It's been trying. How about that?
That is exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
But you did something unusual. You have been working with doing songs for kids.
Yeah, well, it was one specified project. Yeah, that I did. It was after, so of course, November 2019, we were all just so naive and
happy.
We didn't know what was coming. And then, March 2020 happened. And so it was around, well, it was actually probably around a year from when we last spoke that I was commissioned to do this project for Camp Noah, which I believe it's through Lutheran Social Services, or it's a Lutheran something or other. And it's this camp that they do for kids who are trauma survivors, which is just like, whoa, wow. First of all, that's amazing. And we need more of that. And there's different themes. So, I mean, there was a camp specifically at the time for like kids who went through and survived Hurricane Katrina, for example. And there have been, specified camps like for kids who have been survivors of like gun violence and all kinds of things. So I don't know if there was a specification for the one that I did, but there were like the therapy themes and certain prompts and like things that they wanted in a 10-song collection. So I agreed to do it because it just sounded like an amazing thing to do. And I already play fiddle in a band called the Okie Dokie Brothers, which is a kids band. And I have a special place. I teach kids privately. So I knew I wanted to do it, but I was almost like barfing when I was signing the contract because I hadn't written a thing in all of 2020. Like I had a crazy, probably anxiety and like PTSD induced writer's block, which I know we can all relate in that time frame. So it was kind of that thing that was like, maybe this will help me snap out of it. I don't know, but like, I have to do this now. So that's what that specific project was. And that's what this was the first song that I ended up writing after almost a year. And the first song for that project. So yeah.
And the first song is Doing My Best.
Doing My Best, yeah. Was not necessarily meant to be like a Jillian Ray single, but here we are.
I'm thinking we could all benefit from the 10 songs that you wrote for Camp Noah. No.
I mean, some of them are pretty, I looked back actually, some of them are pretty funny to me, just like, ooh, nobody needs to hear this. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to hear you say that because I was thinking like, this is for adult, not even necessarily trauma survivors, but I feel like this song, Doing My Best, is a message that like all of us could use. So yeah, that's why I decided to just put it out there. I hope that it does something for you,
Yeah, I like the fact of living through the last president and stuff, even the fact of you saying, I don't remember exactly, I don't always have the right answers, but I'll look for it, rather than I know everything and blah, blah, blah. Like just humanizing that we don't know everything and it's okay. I appreciate that. I mean, I could have highlighted basically all the lyrics in the song, but I'm just like, yeah, for the past 2 years, this is a very good song to have come out just because we've had the time to sit in our own shit and go, or compare
Yeah.
or all the things. So thank you for
Oh
releasing.
gosh, thank you. That means so much.
Well, and just the sound of it's a very soothing song, as it would be given its origin, but it
Yeah,
is
well, and this
it's
is even more soothing. What I originally wrote for the kids thing, and I did make video for it that it's like just used for these camps. It's very much acoustic guitar and just me, and it's like bum bum bum. It's like a little bit faster, a little bit more upbeat. So what my band ended up doing with the song just took it to the level where I felt like it was in my heart to begin with, but I couldn't just do it that way myself, one person. So that's good. I want the vibe to be soothing. I want it to be like, I hope that's what it does for you when you hear it.
Yeah, I love to hear that you took the recording from your home studio like it was the first take. Like you and your bandmates, I know you as a person are so amazing and approachable and loving, and you like wrap your bandmates and all around, and Ernie in the corner or whatever. Like you
Yep.
get that out of this song and you feel it. I'm glad it was trapped in there and you got to keep it for us and yourself.
Oh my gosh. I love the fact that you're saying this to me and that's how you're hearing it and feeling it just means like, oh my God, mission accomplished. Like, wow. That's good. I'm glad that comes across because really there are elements of the song that I did capture at it's one of our favorite studios in town, the Terrarium. I call it our favorite big room studio because it's a huge room. So it's a really great place to capture drum sounds, which is funny because when we tracked that and a bunch of other songs there, I just had this weird idea because when we went back to the original demo, it's like, this is the vibe though. Like we're not getting this feeling and this vibe off of what we're doing here. But the drum take from the Terrarium was really awesome. And what we ended up doing was we didn't do this track to a click track, which if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like having a metronome in your ear. So it's keeping the band on time perfectly. So if you add things to the track later, it's a thing that a lot of people do while recording. And I do it sometimes and I don't do it sometimes. So in this case, we decided right away, like, we're not going to do this to a click because the song needs to breathe and move a little bit. And when we kept coming back and just noticing that this original basement demo was kind of like it and the thing, we ended up using that to play along with. And then we layered a drum take from the Terrarium in. So there's actually two different drums that you're hearing, the original from the basement studio demo, and then this added one. So I don't know, I'm not even sure how much you can tell. And especially depending on where you're listening and how, like what kind of speakers you're listening out of. But I feel like the element of those two rooms is just like, okay, that's like the sprinkles on top, there's a little bit of like weird magic there.
It seems like in the beginning, I can hear a couple of different things happening, that kind of pull you right in.
Yeah, because it starts with just the solo drums. Yeah. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking that's good.
Love it.
Now, are you looking at any of the other songs that you've done for the kids with an eye towards aging them up?
I don't know. I mean, the rest are pretty kiddie. So, I mean, there are a few that I did like that I thought like, man, in the future, if I ever put out like a children's specific album, there are a few songs that I think could be keepers for that. But again, I really had to write using these specific themes. So it just so happened that this one was like, this is for like young kids and adult kids. You know what I mean? But there are other songs that I tracked. So after I started writing this and like this kids music project got me back into like writing songs again, which there was a moment where I was kind of worried, like, do I just not do this anymore? Is this it for me? I'm not a songwriter anymore? What's happening? So when doing my best got me back into it, I just started writing songs like crazy, like everything that was pent up from the pandemic and the, uprising and social unrest, like right in my backyard where I live, let alone like the whole world felt it, of course. Of course, I'm talking about the, murder of George Floyd and
Right.
everything, that it just was kind of boom, boom, boom with the pandemic and that happening. So I wrote a lot and I did end up recording more at the terrarium. So there's going to be more of like a mixture of terrarium recordings and my home studio recordings. But this just had to be the first. It was kind of like after not releasing anything new for 3 years and after everything we've all lived through, like this is that first message I would just like to give everybody.
But
Have you never experienced the writer's block before during your, no?
Not like this. I mean, I don't consider myself a super prolific songwriter by any means. Like, I think I still kind of have imposter syndrome when it comes to songwriting because I've been playing the violin since I was 7 years old. And like my first professional gig was when I was 9, like I really know I'm a violinist and an instrumentalist, but I'm not like, I'm going to use Sarah Morris, for example. She's a dear friend of mine and she is like the most ritualistic and regimented person that I know. And it's amazing. I truly don't know how she does it. Like I do know it's because she's amazing, but I've tried and that's just like, it's something that I haven't been able to do or stick with. So like my songwriting is it's very much like sporadic and who knows how and when it's going to happen. My insomnia fuels a lot of my songwriting.
maybe I
So
need to start songwriting.
you really should. You'd be surprised when you are waking up in the middle of the night and there's no chance in hell you're going back to sleep anytime soon. If you just start like writing on paper or drawing, even like what's going on in your like half awake state, like I think you'd be surprised. There's some good stuff in there sometimes.
That's funny.
There's some dark corners happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah, one never knows.
Yeah.
No, I remember the last time that we spoke officially, you were really fine with not having more new material in the pipeline. I remember you sort of saying, I got time. So you were very, very relaxed about it.
Oh, that's funny. I know that's me. I don't remember that we talked about that, but it's definitely, I had so many things on the horizon that just didn't get to happen. So I think I was just so like, I'm going to ride out this new record as long as possible because I was so excited about it. And it's still like, that's the best thing I feel like I've ever done as far as a collection of music. I'm still very proud of that record. I can't be the one you want me to be.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. So I had a lot of cool things happening in the works from that. So that's just where my focus was. It's like when songs start coming, I'll get them down, but I wasn't like particularly inspired at that time for new material because I think I was just so in that record. And that record also, there was a huge dramatic story behind that one and it took forever to release. So I think the catharsis of finally being able to release it after years, that was kind of just what was happening.
I kind of remember, I remember you saying you'd been working on one since like 2014 or 2017, some song. And yeah, I remember there was a huge lead up to it, but here's kind of an opportunity to say too, that but you work with a lot of other bands too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
I do.
You could keep pretty busy.
Yeah, I do.
And
Definitely.
maybe this might be an opportunity if you want to tell us a little bit about some of the other bands you work with.
Oh, I'd love to. Well, aside from my project, I mean, I've been a side player in other bands since before I moved to Minneapolis, really. But currently I have a band called Corpse Reviver. We're a trio. I guess you could call us a folk or Americana trio, and we're a tribute to Harry Smith's anthology of American folk music. So we play all songs from the anthology. And if you don't know what that is, you need to go down a Googling rabbit hole right now because it's where all of the music you listen to is influenced from, basically. So we've been doing that. I think we realized this was our 12th season. So every year, first Sundays of the month, sometimes first and third at the 331 Club. So clearly 2020 was the year of not doing that, or we did it for 2019. Yeah, I think March 2020 was when that stopped.
Yeah.
And we just resumed it fall of 2021. So yeah, that's a project. We have 2 records. I love it so much. It's one of the funnest things ever. The band has 3 rules: no rehearsals, no set lists, and no shorts on stage. So that's something I can always jive with.
Who made the no shorts on stage?
I mean, I'm sure it was a collective decision, but Adam Kiesling and Mikkel Beckman are my bandmates, and I'm sure it's something that just flew out of Adam's mouth once on stage, and we just like kept it. But yeah, so I have that. I do that regularly. We record music. We're trying to record a 3rd record, but that's kind of like in its infancy right now. And I have another project called the Fiddlers that I do. It started out as 5 fiddles and a bass. So that one is myself, Ryan Young, Chris Forsberg, Jake Heyer, who no longer lives in Minnesota, but he's a founding member, and we all recorded together, Nate Sipe, and then we're all on the fiddles, and then Justin Brune on the bass. And we actually recorded a record years ago that we are now finally like, we need to finish this up and release it. So that may happen soon. And then I also play fiddle with the Okie Dokie Brothers, which you all know who they are. They're the best. Yeah. So wonderful. So yeah.
What seeped in for, I'm sorry, I'm going back to your 4 songs that you're going to release. Like, was it the timing, or have you had something percolating from your dreams and insomnia and off different, or what can you tell us that we have to look forward to?
Oh, as far as like the rest, the songs I'm releasing this year? Well, they started with Doing My Best, my first song back after not writing for a long time. And they're all kind of written in the space of, from last year until now. So I think the reason why I'm releasing them as singles is they're all very much standalone song nuggets. And I think they're all, by the end of the year, one of the things that I hope, if you're listening to them as a collection, that it really showcases something that I've been criticized about as an artist, that I'm really like, I am embracing this, and that critique that has sometimes been spoken as a negative, that I'm going to take that and be like, yeah, baby, that's the kind of artist I am. So each song is really different. I hop genres.
I was going to say a little genre hopping here, because I think you always have done that, but I know that.
I know I always have. And it's like, at the same time, I've always thought of that as a great thing, because as a listener, like I have a super eclectic musical taste, and I don't know, I clearly have musical ADD, both as a listener and like as a player, because I like to play a lot of different styles too. So, but, at the same time, by like management or entertainment lawyers, I've been told constantly that I need to pick a lane, and I'm just not going to do that. So sorry, not sorry. And these singles will maybe just reflect that. It's like, oh, like, I think you'll be able to tell that they've all come from me, but I'm not like trying to put out like this polished collection of songs that necessarily go together. I
think sometimes that has a lot to do with the kind of Spotify-cation of music, where you have to say you have to define a whole album by a genre if it's going to get pushed to the right people. And I was a librarian. I understand that kind of taxonomy development, but art doesn't need to be defined in that way.
Print that on a t-shirt. I will buy one. Yes, I agree. I fully agree. But I mean, I think the Spotify-cation of things, as you say, like that's definitely a part of it, but I think it goes back further back in time than that, because even like before the times of Spotify, like when you're working on getting your songs out there, like if you're going to do a press or radio campaign, like it's very like everyone wants to know what genre, and you need to figure out who you sound like and what genre specifications you are. And that's always been something that I've struggled with. And I think each thing that I've put out has maybe been under different genres.
That's
Or
good.
maybe you can say Americana for almost anything. So maybe Americana has always been in there, but like there's been definitely more like alternative and rock leaning. There's definitely been some more country leaning things that I've done. And then there's been some straight up like electronic things that I've done. And I feel like they all are still coming from me. So that's okay. You know?
Well, and the super crazy thing is you would think now that so much is online, and this comes from my library background, it used to be that you had one book and you were going to put it in one shelf. You
Mm.
couldn't put the same book 8 different places in the library. That'd be crazy. But electronically, you can do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, so I would think that would. So I think doing the singles will help reach to each.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that perspective. That's
Well,
great.
there you go. We haven't talked at all about you. So the new song is coming out on March 11th.
Mhm.
And you've got a release, an online release stream on March 12th, on 13th, March 13th.
Sunday, March 13th. Yes.
That's
Are you doing it in the home studio with all your bandmates? And
You got it, Heather. I am. That's something when we're doing an online stream, I just feel like I still want to make it as exciting as possible, even though we're not like gathering in the same room with everyone. So I'm going to try to have it set up as similarly as to when we recorded the song and to how we rehearse, like my husband is an engineering genius, so most of our rehearsals he records and he has it set up for recording at all times. So we're going to have the full band and we're going to have, a camera on everyone. And I do believe we're going to have a little bit of help this time for like the camera switching. So it should still be really fun to watch, but it's going to all happen live in real time and we'll be able to chat with you, if you like make comments and whatnot. So yeah, I really hope, 2:00 on a Sunday. I mean, that's the time that you want to just take a chill pill and maybe throw your YouTube on anyway, right? So yeah.
I think it's perfect timing. I think this is a great second debut coming out of the pandemic and doing something different. And
I like that. I like that idea that for everyone, like the next thing we do coming out of the pandemic is our second debut. That's great.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping.
Right.
Now I will include this in the notes, but for people who are just listening, where can people find you online?
Oh, well, I would love to tell you. My main hub is my website. So JillianRayMusic.com has, from there you can find everything else, but that's where you can like learn more about me. My merch store is there. So for buying any of my music or other merchandise or even streaming, you can find all of my streaming on there too, which I'm on everything. Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, Deezer. I've never used it, but I know it's a popular one. Anywhere you can find music on the internet, you can find me streaming. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook /JRayMusic. I'm on Twitter /JRayMusic, although I'm not a very prolific tweeter. I am on there sometimes.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I guess Instagram is what I use the most. YouTube is becoming one of the most important things for me. So I have a YouTube channel that I'm slowly learning how to grow. So that's, I believe, /Jillian Ray Violin because J
Nice.
was taken. That's okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, that's good. Well, we super enjoyed doing my best. I mean, I think it's a little, you listen to it and you get a little inspiration, like, I can color outside the lines. All right.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. It's good to have someone say that at any age.
I needed to hear that. Totally.
Today's maybe one of those. Yeah, exactly. So
that's so good.
I can't wait till everybody gets to hear it. And we'll look forward to the stream on Sunday, 2:00.
Excellent.
I'll say the date again for folks who are March 13th. So March 13th. Jillian, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. It is lovely to talk to you ladies.